Largely, life insurance is a simple common sense product which anybody who has dependents should buy. However, it's not so easy. When you try selling life insurance to people or when you talk logic to people, they'll come with some amazingly stupid arguments and say, well, I don't need to buy life insurance at all. So I've heard a 67-year-old man telling me that I bought insurance, but I don't think it's a useful product at all. When I bought it, it was long ago that I bought it, and I don't think my son-in-law requires any insurance. So, well, I didn't want to argue with him, and I left it at that. And after some time, when I met the son-in-law alone, we stepped out. So son-in-law did not have too much respect for the father-in-law, so it helped. So I said, look, the 67-year-old giving advice to the 32-year-old is wrong, because what he's saying is, I did not buy insurance and I did not die young, right? So if you know that you're not going to die young, then great, you don't need life insurance. And if you know you're going to die at the age of 65, you don't need a pension plan. Unfortunately, those two dates are not available to you. You do not know when you're going to die. Right? So if that date is not available to you, you need both these products. So here is a list of arguments that I've heard from people, and I think it is completely stupid to say that you don't need insurance. You're just saying, early death will not happen to me, so I don't need term insurance. So first, let us look at some of the arguments. One, I don't believe in life insurance. Oh, come on, give me a break. You don't believe in life insurance? I am yet to meet somebody who says I don't believe in the claims, right? So did you ask your wife whether she believes in life insurance? Life insurance is never about you. It is not because you will die. It is because your family is going to live. Don't be stupid and say, I don't need life insurance. Everybody needs life insurance if there is somebody dependent on you. If you are a businessman, there is a business loan. Your partnership firm or private limited company depends on you. They need a key man insurance with which they will be able to repay the loans, assuming you are the key man. If you are just in employment, then it's a different thing. But if you are in a business, a small business, the chances are your business cannot survive your death, right? So therefore, even if your wife is going to look after it, your children are going to look after it, you need a key man insurance with which they will be able to repay all the debt. Of course, you can always have a bigger term insurance so that your wife can decide what to do with the money, but for heaven's sake, don't say you don't need insurance. Yes, you don't need life insurance from your personal point of view because your family is well provided for. But if you're 52 and you have a 5 crore loan which you have taken recently to buy an office or build an office or whatever, you will need some money to repay that loan. So whether you need a loan, whether you need a term loan or a term insurance, it's a question of what you're doing at that stage in life. At my stage in life, I'm sure I don't need any term insurance anymore. Right? But then I needed it 20 years ago when I took it. So that is the question. At that stage, did you need it? Answer is yes. Don't bluff to yourself that you don't need life insurance, because I haven't seen anybody say I don't want to make the claim. Right? Or say I have too much life insurance. Now this is another stupid argument that I have too much life insurance. I've never heard a widow come and say, oh, my husband had too much insurance. It has never happened, ever, never. Right? So when you take an insurance policy, it looks like it is big. For example, people my generation who took a policy 20 years ago thought 1 crore was a big amount for which they were taking insurance. But remember, over 20 years, the value of the word 1 crore has drowned. Today it is not a big amount. 1 crore is a very small amount. A young person taking an insurance policy today, let us assume he is about 28 years to 32 years of age. 1 crore sounds very inadequate because the kind of salaries that they get, because the kind of commitments that they make, the kind of houses that they buy, right? So then it is sit down, do a calculation, see how much money your wife will require for bringing up the children and her own retirement, right? One more argument I hear is, why should I leave money for my wife? She will fend for herself and my children will work through college. absolutely nonsensical argument. Your children have been brought up in a way very different from how you were brought up, right? So don't pretend that your children should go through all that hell which you would have gone through if you had lost a parent. In fact, the easiest person to sell life insurance to is a person who lost a parent, whether he had insurance or didn't have insurance. If he had insurance, he understands the significance. If he didn't understand insurance, he suddenly gets scared and says, yes, I don't want my children to suffer the way I suffered, right? So don't think you're making your spouse rich by taking a big insurance, because the word big insurance completely vanishes 10-15 years later. Also, let us say you're 30 years of age, or somebody is 30 years of age and he takes insurance for 1 crore today. He thinks it's a big amount of insurance. Fantastic. At the age of 34, he is detected having cancer, right? His first regret would be, I wish I had more insurance, because he is no longer insurable. So I may be insurable now, maybe uninsurable now because of my age, but then it doesn't matter. I've created enough wealth for my wife to retire, and my daughter is about to start earning. So it does not really matter. There's nobody financially dependent on me. My wife is dependent on the estate that I leave her, so that's fine. Nobody is, as of now, mathematically speaking, nobody is dependent on me. Yes, I have a mother, but she's financially independent, so there's nobody dependent on me. I have an extremely small term insurance policy, which is continuing, and it doesn't really matter. I can throw it away anytime I want. I've not thrown it, it's just laziness, right? My take is very simple. Don't provide for all the luxuries for your kids. But remember, if your kid's fifth birthday was celebrated in a 5-star hotel where you called 100 people, it is going to be very difficult for your wife to tell your child that no, now Papa is not there, so we will not celebrate your birthday. It doesn't work that way, right? So your wife and children, or maybe your parents, have to maintain the same standard of living which you had provided them. You provided them, they didn't ask for it. So whatever level, that should be maintained at least for 10 to 15 years. 10 to 15 years, let me repeat. So this should be your aim. People dependent on you for the money that you were giving them for running their lives should be able to continue the same thing for 10 or 15 years without any external assistance. Your children lost one parent to death, and they should not lose the other parent to a full-time job, right? So that has become very strenuous for your spouse to do, and if she's left the job market 5 years ago or 10 years ago, it becomes even more difficult. I've seen young women, 33, 34, struggle because they've got a lifestyle depending on their husband's income. Personally, they didn't know much, so then they start a beauty parlor or things like that, and that's not easy to run, because today every house has a kid who knows how to do makeup. So beauty parlors are not a very great success stories. There is one every corner, and there's one in every house, in every floor, in every building, right? Just too many. So everybody can't make money doing that. If you've seen a Hindi movie of the 50s and 60s, the mother would stitch clothes and make money. Those options are not available. Stop kidding yourself. Stop fooling yourself. Term insurance is not something very expensive. It is because your family will live. I'm repeating this again and again to say that life insurance is not because you will die. It is because your dependents will live. They will curse you if you've not left them adequate money. That is not the only thing. It's just being responsible. If the wealth that you have created is not enough for them to live for another 10-15 years, please make sure it is available. All the loans are repaid and all their goals like higher education, etc. are met. That is your duty. Stop kidding yourself. Thank you.